Hello, this is Bronna Francis at KVAC. I'm coming to you from the holler. Today we're going to talk about common symptoms of trauma by school age group students. We're going to begin with the elementary students, some signs and symptoms to look for when students have been exposed to trauma. Anxiety, fear, worry about the safety of themselves or others, worry about the recurrence of violence, increased distress, usually whiny, irritable, or moody, changes in their behavior, decreased attention or concentration, withdrawal from others or activities, angry outburst or aggression, absenteeism, distrust of others, a change in their ability to interpret and respond appropriately to social cues, increased complaints, headaches, stomach aches, overreaction to minor bumps and bruises, changes in school performance, recreating the event, maybe constantly talking about it or repeating it over, playing it out or drawing the event, over or underreacting to bells and physical contact, door slamming, sirens, those kinds of things. Statements and questions about death and dying, difficulty with authority, redirection or criticism, re-experiencing the trauma, maybe they're having nightmares or disturbing memories during the day, hyperarousal, sleep disturbance, tendency to be easily startled, avoidance of behaviors, going to places that remind them of the event, or they could be emotionally numbing, seem to have no feeling about the event. Tips for working with students known to be affected by trauma. Maintain usual routines with these students. A return to normal behavior. Normal communicates the message that the child is safe and life will go on. Give the child choices. Often traumatic events involve loss of control or chaos. So you can help a child feel safe by offering them some choices or control when it's appropriate. Increase the level of support and encouragement given to the traumatized student. Designate an adult who can provide additional support if needed. Set clear, firm limits for inappropriate behavior and develop logical rather than punitive consequences. Recognize that behavioral problems may be transient and related to trauma. And remember that even the most disruptive behaviors can be driven by trauma-related anxiety. And sometimes we forget that. Provide a safe place for the child to talk about what happened. Set aside a designated time and a place for sharing to help the child know it's okay to talk about what happened. Give simple and realistic answers to the child's questions about traumatic events. Clarify distortions and misconceptions. If it's not an appropriate time, be sure to give the child a time and place to talk and ask questions. Be sensitive to the cues in the environment that may cause a reaction in the traumatized child. For example, victims of a natural storm disasters might react very badly to threatening weather or storm warnings. Children may increase problem behaviors near an anniversary of a traumatic event. I do remember when the tornado came through that a lot of the students didn't want to go back to school, or if the wind blew, they became physically upset and emotionally upset. Anticipate difficult times and provide additional support. Many kinds of situations may be reminders of the event. If you're able to identify reminders, you can help the child by preparing for the situation. For instance, for the child who does not like being alone, provide a partner to accompany him or her to the bathroom. That's just one example. What can we do now as educators to help and to support children that have experienced trauma? Develop resilience. What is resilience? It's the ability to overcome adversity and thrive even in the fact of risk, or the face of risk. It's made up of a combination of supportive relationships, adaptive skill building, and positive experiences. Developing resilience, the single most common factor for children who Develop resilience is at least one stable and committed relationship with a supportive parent, caregiver, or another adult. Children who are predisposed to positive outcomes have counterweights in their lives, facilitating supportive adult child relationships, building sense of self-efficacy and perceived control, providing opportunities to strengthen adaptive skills and self-regulatory capacities, sources of faith, hope, and cultural traditions. We have to realize that some of our students do not have these supports in place. Building resilience through corrective relationships. You can help children overcome trauma by enhancing their natural strengths and promoting a sense of safety, confidence, and worth. If you can advocate for children for experience positive and stable relationships to overcome traumatic exposures, you can ensure children have access to trauma-informed treatments and services to reduce trauma impact and enhance child resilience. And I want to say thanks to Doug Smith for his input on this PowerPoint and this topic. If you have any questions or you need help or advice, you can call Doug Smith or you can call myself here at KVEC. And I want to thank you for joining us at the Holler. Goodbye.